11 p.m. editing alone and... I'm reviewing footage from a haunted nursery, and my 1998 Furby, which lives in a cupboard facing the wall, chose this exact moment to wake up.
Oh, hell no.
I'm a scientist. I know dolls aren't alive. I know a Furby is just a speak and spell with a fur coat and a bad attitude. So why am I, right now at nearly midnight, feeling like something in this room is watching me? Hey everyone, it's Meredith Castles. Welcome back to the channel. So a few weeks ago, I went and visited Runnymede, where I was able to go and have a look at like a couple of 100-year-old nursery full of dolls. Right, there were about 20 of them sitting in cots and on tables and on chairs and on the floor, and I am not a doll person. I walked in thinking, this is fine. I'm a scientist. I investigate weird things for a living. But within 30 seconds, my heart rate was up and the ancient lizard part of my brain was going, there's something looking at me. I knew that there was something looking at me. But nothing but porcelain and glass eyes, right? Okay then. I've never liked dolls, ever since I was a kid. So I had to find out, what is it about dolls that creeps us out? Stick with me. This is the Runnymede doll nursery, and yes, it's exactly as unsettling as it looks. Everywhere you turn, there are faces, glass eyes that follow you, tiny hands that haven't moved in decades but somehow feel like they're about to. What I noticed almost immediately is that my reaction wasn't rational. I wasn't scared of being attacked by a doll. That's not a real concern. My brain was reacting to something much more fundamental. The dolls were almost human, but not quite. And that gap between almost human and actually human turns out to be one of the most powerful psychological phenomena we actually know about. Here's the thing, this reaction is common enough that we've got actual names for it. Pediophobia, that's the fear of dolls, specifically. Automatonophobia covers the broader category, the fear of human-like figures. Mannequins, wax figures, ventriloquist dummies. Ugh. Poopophobia, the fear of puppets. And if you want to be really specific, culturophobia is the fear of clowns, which are basically dolls that move. The point is, we have enough words for these things to fill a psychology textbook, so clearly I'm not the only person whose brain does this. So let's start at the beginning. And the beginning for this is your brain. Your brain has specialized machinery for processing faces, including an area in the temporal lobe commonly called the fusiform face area. It responds especially strongly when you see a face, and your broader face processing system is ridiculously sensitive. Your brain begins distinguishing faces astonishingly quickly, within a fraction of a second, before you consciously thought, that's a face. The problem is, this system is so sensitive that it triggers on things that aren't faces. Clouds, toast, the front of a car. It's called pareidolia, seeing patterns, especially faces, where none exist. Now, one possible reason our detection systems are so sensitive is that false alarms are cheap. If you mistake a rock for a lion, you get a fright. If you mistake a lion for a rock, however, you may become lunch. The same basic logic may favor a face detection system that occasionally sees faces in toast, clouds, and PowerPoints, rather than regularly overlooking a real person or another living thing that's nearby. Or to put it more directly, seeing a face in a shadow costs you almost nothing. Failing to notice an actual face watching you could matter. Now, here's where it gets interesting. With dolls, it's not just about that we see a face. It's that we see a face that is almost right. The eyes are in the right place, the mouth, the proportions, but something is off. And that wrongness, that tiny deviation, is what makes your skin crawl. Alright, stick with me for a quick history interlude. In 1970, a Japanese roboticist named Masahiro Mori published a paper that changed how we think about human-like things. He drew a graph. On one axis, how human-like something is, and on the other, how comfortable we feel with that. Mori proposed that as something becomes more human-like, we generally respond more positively, until certain almost human figures suddenly become deeply, deeply uncomfortable. That drop is the Uncanny Valley. And dolls, they live right at the bottom of that. Now, researchers still debate exactly why that is. It may involve mismatched features, violated expectations, reminders of illness or death, or several of those things working together. But the outcome is still the same. When something looks almost perfectly human but isn't, your threat response kicks in before your rational brain can say it's just plastic. This is an Einstein robot I use in my research. It can make facial expressions when its battery isn't dead, so I'll drop a clip of it working on stream here. It blinks, it's incredibly realistic, and curiously, Einstein doesn't bother me nearly as much as some of the completely still dolls do. Maybe it's because the movement and expressions give my brain enough information to understand what kind of thing I'm looking at. But here's the thing, movement isn't automatically reassuring. If a human-like face moves in a way that doesn't match its appearance, it can become even more uncanny. Which brings us to the actual problems with dolls. Because, and here's where my background in human-computer interaction actually comes in, the thing that makes dolls creepy isn't just how they look, it's the ambiguity, the uncertainty. I've had this Furby since the 90s. It lives in this cupboard facing the wall. Here's what I know. It can activate in response to stimulation, sound and movement and light, but I can't always tell what triggered it. So from my perspective, it talks seemingly at random. And when it activates in the middle of the night and you're alone in the house, your brain doesn't go, a toy from 1998 with a simple speech chip. The brain goes, something in the room has intention. This is a print of the Mona Lisa, and if you walk past it, the eyes follow you. It's called the Mona Lisa effect. It's just geometry. The gaze direction in a flat painting is fixed, so it appears to track you from any angle. Your brain knows this, and yet. So you put it all together. A doll has a face. Your face processing system fires. It looks almost, but not quite human, and you fall into the Uncanny Valley. And then, if it moves or makes a sound of any sort, your brain assigns it intention, agency. That thing is looking at me. And here's my favorite part. This is all happening in your brain faster than you can consciously process. You don't choose it. You don't reason your way out of it. It's automatic, ancient, and completely involuntary. So of course, we turned this into entertainment. Horror movies have been exploiting the Uncanny Valley for decades. Annabelle, Chucky, the ventriloquist dummy from basically everything. And it works every time, because a doll that moves, that turns its head, that blinks, is your brain's worst case scenario. It's not just that looks like a person, it's that looks like a person and it's doing something I didn't expect. The scariest thing a doll can do isn't to chase you with a knife, it's turning its head when you're not looking. Which is why I'm just going to say it. I don't keep dolls in my bedroom. I know that's happening in my brain. I can explain it to you in excruciating detail, and I still do not want to wake up in the middle of the night and see glass eyes reflecting the streetlights. So what did we learn? 1, your brain has a face processing system so sensitive it triggers on clouds and toast, because false alarms are cheaper than missing a real face. 2, the Uncanny Valley is real, and dolls are at the bottom of that valley. Researchers still debate exactly why, but the result is the same. Your threat response fires before you can reason your way out. 3, your worst part isn't how dolls look. It's the ambiguity, the uncertainty, the possibility, however irrational, that they may have intention. Knowing all of this doesn't actually make dolls less creepy. It just means you understand why you've creeped out, which is honestly kind of worse. The dolls haven't changed, your understanding has. That's the science of fear. As for whether there was actually something watching me in that nursery, who knows? But I'm not taking the risk.